So many people say, I am yogi, I am siddha, I am natha. So what are all these? They all say, what do you do? They say, we practice yoga. Sometimes Patanjali, sometimes non-Patanjali. So Shiva started the Natha Parampara, like I said, Pashupati Natha himself is a Natha. Natha is a person who has become self-aware. I also belong to the Natha tradition. Okay? Then in the Natha tradition also, there are three different verticals. One vertical is the Navanatha tradition. One vertical is the Veerashaiva or a Panchamasali tradition. One is the Shakti Pradhana tradition or the Shaktanatha tradition. The Navanathas have a unique style of yoga which is still practiced and which is very popular. They have three important texts of Hatha Yoga. The Natha Parampara is the is the genesis of Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga and Patanjali Yoga. In Hatha Yoga, there are three principal texts. One is called the Gheranda Samhita or the Goraksha Samhita, which was written by or spoken by, because it was recorded by his disciple, called Gheranda Samhita. Gheranda Samhita is Shadanga. Like you have Ashtanga Yoga in Patanjali. I will not go into too much detail. Maybe if you are interested, I will do another session exclusively on Hatha Yoga. Okay? The second important text is Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Again attributed to Gorakshanatha or he is also called Gorakhnath. That is Chaturanga, only four-limbed. In Gheranda, yoga is six-limbed. In Hatha Yoga Pradipika, it is only four-limbed. And there is one more text called Shiva Samhita. We don't know who has written it, but it also belongs to the Natha tradition. The Navanatha tradition, 9 Nathas, they are all considered to be reincarnations of Shiva. Let me tell you a very, very quick story. All the authority of Veda comes by what we call as Agama Shastras or the Shaiva Agamas. What is Agama? First we must understand what is Agama. Agama is when a higher power or a higher entity is teaching to a lower entity or a lower power. Like Shiva is a higher power and he is teaching Shakti, his consort. So his teachings are all in love language. So without Guru Shishya Parampara, you will not understand the Agamas. The Agamas have to be understood through a Guru Shishya Parampara. So when Shiva speaks to Parvati, Shakti, Devi, in the language of love, it is also called as the twilight language. Sandhya Bhasha. Sandhya Bhasha cannot be taught. It has to come through Guru Shishya Parampara. So these kind of texts are called Agama. There are other kind of texts like the Vedas, where the lower entities are praising the higher entities. Where you say, oh, you are great, oh my Lord, you have Sahasrabaho, Sahasrapada, you have 1,000 arms, I see you radiant. These types of texts like the Vedas and the other poems and suktas and sutras, these are called Nigama Shastra. Agama Shastra and Nigama Shastra. Okay, Nigama means from lower to higher. Lower to higher, Nigama, higher to lower, Agama. So in Shaiva Agama, because it is Shiva talking to Parvati, and there are Vaishnava Agamas also, where Vishnu is talking to Lakshmi. All your temple-based religious worships are Agama Shastras. Okay? And most of the yoga are agamas. So what happens? Shiva is, it's just a story, just imagine it. You don't have any proof, don't ask me, we don't know. But Shiva is talking to Shakti. What this actually means is, when you receive this transmission, you have to be like a lover to the Guru to receive the energy, the Shakti Patha. And just like a woman's womb, you have to be like a woman approaching the Guru and take that Shakti, put it in yourself. What does a woman do? She takes something from the man, puts it in her womb, manufactures something new which has its own life, which is like both the mother and father, but it is independent. So Agama Shastras have to be approached with a emotion of surrender. And one has to receive. That is why all temples have something called Garbha Griha or Garbha Gudi. Whose Garbha is it? It is your Garbha. You go there, you take the quality that is required. For example, if you go to Rama temple, let us say Rama you like Eka Patni Vrata, or Rama you like Eka Vani. So he always speaks the truth. So you take that quality, put it in yourself, put it in your Garbha, and then something like Rama you will become. Because you give birth to yourself. These kind of people are called Dvija, twice born. Dvija means twice born. Okay? So, Shiva was sitting on top of Mount Kailas and whispering these secrets to Shakti. And at a distance was sitting Nandi, because he is always there. So he heard these Yoga Sutras. And there was a fish in the Manasarovar. It also heard all the Yoga Sutras. And it started asking doubts. So Parvati gave, a shapa. She gave a curse, saying, you go into the Manavaloka, go to the world of men. It's a good curse, so that yoga becomes available to us. So the followers of that fish who incarnated as a human, Matsyendranatha, who learnt it from Adinatha, which is Shiva himself. So Adinatha indirectly taught Matsyendranatha. Matsyendranatha, his Sishya, his disciple is Gorakshanatha or Gorakhnath. And then 7 more Nathas come, and that has developed into the Navanatha Parampara. This is where Hatha Yoga comes from. Now Nandi was also there. Nandi also reincarnates from time to time. So his followers are called the Veerashaivas. One of the Veerashaivas are Lingaites. They also pick up this yoga from the Agama Shastras. And they have brought it down into their own languages. So you find Tamil, in Tamil, these Nathas are called Siddhas. Siddha Yoga is nothing but Natha Yoga, called Nadar in Tamil. In Karnataka, they have become Lingayat, Veerashaiva. In North India also, there are Jangamas. There are Sharans. So, many varieties came about. In Karnataka, there was a very famous sect called Kalamukha, which have disappeared now, who are also Nathas. There is Lakulisha Pashupata sect, which spanned from border of Karnataka to Afghanistan, also disappeared. So, many of these yogic traditions have disappeared. Then, who was to receive all this information, knowledge and wisdom? Shakti, isn't it? So there are Shaktanathas. I belong to that Shaktanatha tradition, where we approach Shiva through Shakti. So very quickly I'll tell you, what is this Hatha Yoga? Hatha means, it comes from 2 words, Ha and Ta. Ha means the Surya Nadi, ter means the Chandranadi. That is the male and the female energy which is inside of us. So we reach Shiva through Shakti. Okay. So here the tradition is slightly different from the Navana, but still it's yoga. Because how did you come about? You came about because the male energy in your dad and the female energy in your mother came together. So in you both male and female exist. In a woman also both male and female exist. So when those two energies come together, how do they come together? That yoga is the Hatha Yoga. Okay? And there is in Shiva, now we have Nathas, we have Siddhas, then we have the Sapta Rishis, who also learnt yoga from Dakshinamurti. Shiva as Dakshinamurti. You might have seen on the south wall of temples, you have Dakshinamurti. And how did Dakshinamurti teach? He taught in silence. Only Shaktipata. We do not have the fortune or the strength to teach silently. That is why I have to speak. Saptarishis were such great receivers, and of course Shiva as Dakshinamurti is such a great giver, teacher, that they got all the knowledge, information just through silence. And from the Saptarishis, all the Vedas, the Vedantas and everything has come.